take over the lead. The bad boy of off-road racing, Ballistic BJ Baldwin, is always a force here in Baja. Known for his daredevil antics, BJ's take-no-prisoner driving style generally leaves him on the podium or on the trailer.
3 or 4 years ago, there were like 6 or 7 fast guys. Now there's about 10 or 12. I'm here to slay them all.
But one thing is for sure, this 3-time overall champion means business.
I think the competition out there today is probably myself.
Now he's back, determined to fight the whole season to get the #1 spot. Trophy trucks open up their throttles through El Diablo dry lake bed, maintaining their positions on course. Reigning San Felipe champion, Billy Wilson, has moved up 5 positions after starting in 12th, making a strong push to defend his title. The UTV forced induction class is moving through race mile 85. Mark Burnett is still leading the class, but is running with a huge handicap, literally. After another racer made contact with his UTV, Mark broke his arm and now is driving with one hand. With Mike Caffro and the rest of the pack now putting pressure on Mark, we'll see if he's able to fight through the pain and stay in the race. Class 10 buggies are moving through race mile 129 and are almost halfway through the race. Rafael Navarro has fallen back a few positions, but last year's Class 10 champion will keep fighting until then. Rafael Navarro IV is upholding a multi-generational family tradition of dominating the Baja Peninsula. This 2014 and 2015 young gun pig hasn't slowed down for a second on his race to off-road superstardom. Working around his college schedule, Rafael's managed to find time to consistently finish second in all 4 races in the 2016 series and take the 2016 Class 10 Points Championship. Rafael even outraced the highly intimidating titans of the off-road world, the trophy truck class, becoming the first Class 10 to win the overall championship in 20 years.
Race 11 into race mile 216, race mile 216 for race 11.
Rob Mack's resilience has paid off, and he's found himself at arm's reach for the lead behind Cameron.
9 seconds down to 16, Cameron Steele.
Rob notices Cameron starting to slow down, and he makes his move. Rob catches up with him at the right time, as Cameron has to pull over for a quick pit stop, forcing him to give up the lead.
Can I get splits on everybody, please? We're first up on the road. We are ahead of Everett.
Wanting a piece of the action is Abdali Lopez in 3rd and BJ Baldwin in 4th, both vying for a spot on the podium.
We just got an update that the motorcycles will be coming in about 25 minutes. Word is 45X is in the lead. We'll see if he can keep it, come right down the stretch, and claim the win.
Arredondo still holds the lead, but he has to push hard. The 1X team is currently running a faster race behind them in second, after starting in 6th. Jose Carrasco has a commanding lead of the Ironman class, but the rest of the class is not letting up. Tony Guerra has lost the rear tire, but with a chance to make the podium, he's putting it all on the line and will attempt to finish without it. Francisco Arredondo crosses the line first with a time of 5 hours, 12 minutes, and 56 seconds. But with a time of 5 hours, 12 minutes, and 37 seconds, Ryan Penhall edges out 45X to take the top of the podium.
We've ran it for parts of the 500 and 1,000 last year and parts of this race last year, so it's just rougher than it's ever been.
Feel good, yeah. I just rode a smooth race. I had one tip over, but yeah, I just rode smart and had a good time out there. This is definitely the roughest course I've ever rode out here in San Felipe. More rocks are showing up and the sand washes and everything. The whoops are getting deeper and deeper. You know, as these trophy trucks just get more and more suspension, it just makes it that much harder for us bike guys, but it's fun.
For the Ironman class, Jose Carrasco takes the checkered flag, Dominic Fagundes takes second, and Tony Guerra's gamble pays off, third place finish, and on one tire.
I'm here with Tony Guerra, 4-time winner of the San Felipe 250. What happened today?
Right around mile 200, we started having a rear tire come apart, and then at race mile 250, or just before 250, the tire finally fell off and rode the rim.
What, I'm just gonna go anyway?
Yeah, we just rode the rim all the way here. I didn't have any pit crew out there. They were limited to one chase truck, so.
So you don't have any pit crew?
Just my mom, my dad, my girlfriend, my little brother.
And this is them behind you, I guess, right?
Yeah, this is all them.
Pretty amazing, guys. And now you're here with no tire, shredding, and you've won this thing 4 times.
Yeah.
And is it like this every time? You guys just decide, I'm coming down.
Yeah.
Wait, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
This is actually, to me, this is like kind of what all sports are sort of from the heart are. You know, like a family doing it, not giving up, just running it. Isn't really...
Trade Network is being brought to you by BF Goodrich, the official tire sponsor of the Baja Desert Championship, and by Monster Energy.
Around, the crowds have kind of dispersed, but starting to hear mariachi bands, starting to hear some excitement down there. Flag girls are coming out. That means the racers are on their way.
Trophy trucks are on the last stretch back into San Felipe. With Cameron Steele right behind him, Rob McCachran keeps the throttle down.
If 1 minute has gone by,
10-4, we will.
Truck 16 is stop moving at race mile 269.
Although teams go to great lengths to prepare for the Baja Peninsula, nothing can predict the outcome after the punishment these trucks endure in this unforgiving terrain. Cameron has lost the drive shaft and is doubtful he'll be able to continue. The locals jump into action and offer to pull Cameron's truck through the tunnel. Rob McCachran crosses the finish line with a total time of 4 hours and 20 minutes.
I think you're on a roll, dude.
Yeah, hey, it's not over.
Abdali Lopez seizes the opportunity and passes Cameron, making a final dash to the finish. The minute Rob needed to make it official has passed, as Cameron's truck is unable to get back up to speed. Abdali crosses the finish line with a time of 4 hours and 25 minutes. Cameron's tow has gone as far as it can go, and now the team is on its own. Hesitation, BJ Baldwin forgoes a chance at the podium and chooses to push his competitor towards the finish line, proving camaraderie can sometimes triumph over victory. Cameron returns the favor and allows BJ to finish before him as a sign of appreciation.
Wow, what a little finish there, helping Cameron out.
I gotta help a teammate out. You know, we're not winning today, so
Yeah.
gotta help him out a little bit.
So, I mean, is that camaraderie through all the athletes, or, you know, just because you guys know each other?
Not really. It's only because I'm a very, very nice guy.
Very nice guy. Yeah.
BJ's just a class act. I gotta give him a big amount of love for that, buddy.
I believe a word he said.
Lost a third member, had to pull over, check it, and just decided instead of changing that we try to baby it in.
Almost
And,
got there.
Yeah, I mean, we were 3 miles from town and we're 30 seconds behind Rob on time. The locals came out and pulled us across the border.
Hey, man, congratulations. It's a
Thanks,
really
Rooftop.
great pleasure watching it and tracking it the whole way.
Yeah, congratulate all the winners, the podium guys, and
Congratulations,
next time.
After starting in 12th, Billy Wilson's resilience pays off. Finishing with a time of 4 hours and 24 minutes, it puts him ahead of Abdali and earns him a spot on the podium in second place. With that, Rob McCachran takes the checkered flag at this year's Score San Felipe 250. Finishing on top and taking first place is Justin Munyon, finishing the race for Brad Wilson in Buggy 153 with a time of 4 hours and 57 minutes. With a time of 5 hours and 7 minutes, ELIAS HANNA takes first place for the Trophy Truck Spec class. 16 minutes later, John Langley finishes in second for the Cops Racing team. Holding on to win it for Class 10 is BROC Dickerson in Buggy 1023. Finishing with a time of 5 hours and 20 minutes, Justin Davis takes second. For the UTV Forced Induction class, Wayne Matlock takes first place, edging out Mark Burnett.
Well, we were at about 182, 183. We were chasing down a 6100, actually a class 200 car. Line turn right. We almost went over the berm, so I held the car from rolling and basically yanked it out of my hand and broke my wrist right there. And I saved it from going over, but I had to drive from there to the finish line. It was pretty brutal. It was really hard on my hand.
Look at this truck behind us. Is that a normal thing? They didn't have anything left on them.
Absolutely. You know, there was a lot of overheating today, people having to lose their hoods. We had to remove our hood a couple of times because of the power steering belt. This is San Felipe. I mean, this is the attrition, the roughness, the toughness of an off-road desert race. You have that first problem, you think you can push right through it, you know, get back on, and then you have that second one, and it's just deflating. You know, there's a lot of prep, there's a lot of you know, time that goes into racing one of these events, and when you have an issue like that, it's just absolutely, you know, deflating for a driver and for a team.
Well, I'm glad you made it out safe.
Thank you.
Congratulations to the other Bill Dosolo.
Yeah,
But, you know.
yeah, no, I'm very proud of my dad. Yeah, congratulations to him.
Yeah, thank you. You made it safe. You're my co-host, so maybe a hug. There we go. There we go. Tavo.
Rob McCackert came in with the fastest time today, topping what was a highly competitive pack of trucks, all vying for the Score Points Championship. Brad Wilson starts the year off strong with the first place finish for Class 1. ELIAS HANNA leads off the year in first place for Trophy Truck Spec Class. And the Ox Motorsports team starts off in a familiar position in first place, edging out Francisco Arredondo by just 19 seconds. And Brock Dickerson in 10:23, making a statement in Class 10 with a first place finish. Both father and son for the Langley family made the podium for their classes, and we can expect the team to continue to make an impact in the upcoming race year.
Congratulations to Rob McCackern and his team, and that wraps up the Score of San Felipe 250. If this is any indication on how the rest of the series is going to be, it's going to be intense, it's going to be savage, and I can't wait to see it. And for the El Rey Network, I'm Mike Escamilla, and I'll see you next time.
Welcome to the 31st Annual Score San Felipe 250 and the first of our 4 races in the Baja Desert Championship Series. This begins the year-long journey to the Baja 1000 and the fight for the chance of becoming immortal as a Baja champion. Racers from all over the world have gathered in this quiet coastal town, abandoning their daily lives to risk everything for a chance at off-road greatness. This is the harshest and most demanding race series in the world. The course is treacherous, the opposition is brutal, and the carnage begins now.
Presentation of 31st Annual San Felipe 250. I'm Mike Escamilla. I'm here with legendary desert racer Tavo Bildosola. So you've won this race 3 times in a row, is that right?
Correct.
Looking for a 4th. Anything different now, coming from a winner's point of view?
You know, this race is extremely difficult. It's tough, it's nasty, and it is the toughest, roughest race that we do in the 2017 series. Rob McCackern's actually won this race 4 times overall. We won it 3 times overall, and we're looking to match his record of 4, but, you know, he's here. He qualified first yesterday.
Now, besides Rob, is there anything else to really be worried about? Heard that the locals sometimes will give alternative obstacles that they've decided to place on their own. What does that affect you? Does it affect the other racers?
You have booby traps. You know, the locals like to see jumps, and they like to see holes, and it makes it a little bit more difficult, but we've been pushing extremely hard over the last couple of years about making the fan a little bit more conscious about we're all here to have fun, you know, and they're here to have fun, we're here to have fun. Obviously, we're very competitive and we want to win, but you know, we don't need any of that, and it's really gotten a lot better.
How much does that affect the course? Do they help you out a little bit with those booby traps?
I wish they did.
Big sign,
I wish
turn here.
Tavo, slow down. You know, no, they don't. Unfortunately, they don't. But that's what Baja is. You're dealing with elements that change mile to mile.
Like Tavo said, this is one of the most treacherous courses in the series. Why don't you give us a course preview?
Absolutely, Mike. We start here at the Malecon in downtown San Felipe. We make our way up the dunes for the first time in the 31-year history of the San Felipe 250. And then start heading up a little bit west of Zoo Road, very famous piece of land here in San Felipe. And then start heading north, the Three Poles, hit up another wash, up to Saldaña, dry lake bed, hit Saldaña, probably 145 miles an hour through Saldaña. Come back across down, hit some silt beds, pretty nasty silt beds coming back south. That brings us down into the world famous Borrego jump. Come down through Diablo dry lake bed, 140, 142 miles an hour through the dry lake bed. Into Morelia Junction, then after Morelia start heading south again. Then we turn towards the east, start heading into Chanate Wash, really tight sections, rock crawling, going 5 miles an hour through just really nasty sections. Then we go into Guatamote Wash, start heading west again, come back across into San Felipe, come back down the dunes, and into the Malecon here in downtown San Felipe.
It sounds like an action movie coming to life.
It absolutely is.
Well, before the green flag drops yesterday, Cherry was in the heart of contingency, checking out what this event is all about.
San Felipe 250 is more than just a desert race. It's a festival filled with families, fun, food, and tons of fans.
Contingency is a madhouse. You come here with no friends, you're going to make friends.
I thought I made friends.
Group on.
All right. Yeah, Ratchet wants to go get a list. Another one? Because they didn't have a list printed with the names, so he was getting ready to start. Yeah, we are. Yeah. All right, we're getting ready to kick off this San Felipe 250, 319 miles, man. What do you think? I mean, you're getting ready to take off this morning, and what's going through your mind right now?
Well, to finish the race, to have a smooth ride all the way back here.
Oh, most definitely. So you're just gonna, once you leave here, you're gonna start out and get through town and just be conservative and, you know, start to pace yourself, watch your lines, just picking it off one at a time. And how far are you gonna go before you switch out riders?
Well, I'm gonna do this section, and then I'm gonna go to El Borrego.
Borrego, then you're gonna switch again.
Yeah.
And who's getting on in Borrego?
Brandon Prieto.
Brandon? Okay, yeah. So great. So we're getting really close to kicking it off, and you're getting to be the first guy to start out on the San Felipe 250 out of everybody. How does that kind of feel like? You get first pick on all the lines.
Yeah, that's a good thing to open the course, and all the dots is behind us. So it's a really good thing. We're really excited, and we want to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, good luck, and I'll see you guys here. I'll see your team back here at the finish line here in about a couple hours. What do you think it's going to take you, about 6 hours to get through, 6.5?
Yeah, around 1 p.m. or a little bit less.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, between 12:30 and 1. We should start to see you guys coming back in. All right, well, make sure you come back up and say hi. All right. How's it going, man? What's going through your mind right now? What's your thoughts and focus and concentration?
Big thing, just get going. Then survive the race, you know, hit all your lines.
Oops, sorry.
Hit all your lines and don't go down.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. Nobody wants to go down. So how many miles are you going to put on your first stretch?
End of the speed zone.
At the end of the speed zone, then you're going to hop off and switch real quick?
Yeah, and then I'll get on at Borrego. Or actually, I'll get on at 68, go around Morelia.
Oh, nice, nice. So who's switching you out down here on the other side?
Grant Statley.
Okay. Well, good luck, guys. That's what I was saying.
Buenos dias, San Felipe. Listo for carreras. We're gonna send these bikes off here in just a couple of minutes. We're gonna start out with our pro moto class right here. We'll be sending them off the line. If you guys are sending out any feed on your social media, let everybody know that we're online live all day at San Felipe 250, scoreinternational.com. Not going to want to miss that. So we're going to kick this thing off in just a couple of minutes. Just a little final adjustments out there. It's great to see all you guys. Thank everybody for coming out here bright and early and send these guys off into the desert. Donovan, what a great day we had in contingency. Made it here. It's race day. Beautiful San Felipe, the race that we love so much, and just a great time being down here so far.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun down here in San Felipe, and I got to admit, San Felipe has some of the loudest fans that we've ever came across in our whole circuit that we run for this, Score International World Desert Champion Series. And, these guys, the fans are probably the coolest out here because they just go and have so much fun last night.
There was definitely some fun being had. I think those mariachis were right on our porch.
Yeah, and I think there was a couple upstairs in the second balcony, too.
I see everybody out here shaking their head. They're like, yeah, we heard that. It was serious. But, hey, that's what it's all about. People camp down on the beach here, right here on the beautiful Malecon. This is about as good as it gets in off-road racing, kicking it off right here on the water, coming back around here. Beautiful San Felipe, looking forward to a great day of racing. And I know we are just minutes away from kicking this thing off. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors, some great sponsors helping this World Desert Championship Series this year. BF Goodrich Tires, as always, stepping up and being a big part of our series. We want to thank Polaris Razor for stepping up this year and being a huge supporter of the Score International Series. We also have Raceline Wheels, that good party last night at Rockadile. I heard that thing just went off. So we love having them be a part of it. Also, VP Racing Fuel stepped up this year, our official fuel for the Score International World Desert Championship Series. We have the El Raid Network as our official partners, so great to have them on board covering all the action. And Monster Energy, you can't ever leave them out. They're a big supporter. You got one in your hand. It's already getting warm down here on the Malecon, and we're sucking one back, getting this party going.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, definitely big shout out to some of our fans and some of our sponsors for that, and make sure you go to the scoreinternational.com to be able to watch this live during the day, and then make sure you let your friends know, send them a message, text them, so everybody can find the channels to watch it live. And the really cool thing is we're making some changes, and we have the drones out running right now that are getting some shots. So we got drone guys all around the race course, and plus other camera operators that are also going on the live feed. So you guys are getting some stuff that's like right now. This is not time delayed. This is not yesterday's race. It's today.
This is round number 1 of the World Desert Championship Series here, San Felipe. And like you said, Donovan, it's all going to be coming you live. We got our drone teams. They've been posted up since yesterday. They're out there in their positions, ready to go. So we're really looking forward to some great coverage once again here in round number 1.
Oh, most definitely. And I'm pumped for it, too. So, and anything else, just like as you guys are watching this, we're always having a little bit of technical difficulty. Sometimes it's a little bit hard. Here in Mexico, we had some electrical issues yesterday where we were losing power and back and forth. So, but, a little bit. It's just like racing. A little bit, you dial it in. You get a little better, you get a little faster, and that's what we're working on. So, and I want to give that shout out to all the camera operators and the production guys that help do this. They really work hard to make this happen.
It is. It's a whole army. That's a good point, Donovan. We do want to thank everybody. And we're getting ready to kick this thing off right here. We're going to send Senor Santiago Creel right off first on that Monkey Business 66X. Drew, that first starting position is what we're doing this year if you're watching at home. This year's a little bit different. We had our starting draw for the San Felipe 250, and then we're going to go ahead and take their finish from the San Felipe 250, and that's going to be their starting position for the 50th anniversary of the Baja 500 coming up. Esposito on that 1X bike. They are super pumped to be out here winning that championship last year. It was a close battle all year between 45X, Mark Samuels, Monster Energy, Team Honda, factory-backed rider, riding red, styling, smiling. And it is going to be another battle. So this is our first rider off the line out of Mexico City, number 66X, Santiago Krill.
And he's off. San Felipe has officially started, Rat.
And we have started. So 1X right there, Shane Esposito out of Temecula, California. Shane's won so many championships over the years, adding this one to his notch. So that 1X bike is off the line, and Shane is going green. Our next rider up to the start, he's out of Mexico City. This is one of Santiago Krill's other bikes. He always shows up with a few bikes, so they're going to do that rider change right there. You'll notice Ray DeSalio's down there going to get on this bike. Some rider changes. If you're wondering why these riders are going to get on, some of them standing down there 50 feet. But this is that 4X of Santiago Krill, and you'll notice he's going to go down there and hand the bike over to Del Salio. But up next right there, Justin Morgan out of El Cajon, California, number 7X, riding that Honda, and he is going green, just 15 seconds.
So these first guys leaving the line, Rat, should be coming back around about between 12:30 and 1 o'clock this afternoon. We should start to see some of these pro riders first coming back in.
That's right. Justin Morgan is on the gas right there. There is a speed limit out of town, but I'm sure they're going to push that. So our next rider up, number 30X, out of Ladera Ranch, California. This is Nick Garvin. And Nick is on course.
Slippery coming up.
Our next rider up, 3X, Garrett Pouchet right there. This guy's been doing some huge things this year. Probably seen his van cruising all over Baja with that big skull on the back. So our next rider off the line's got that new bike. 3X, Garrett Pouchet. Our next rider up to the line is out of Portland, Oregon, riding that Husqvarna 450. Number 11X, that's Travis Gardner. And Gardner is on course. Our next rider up, riding that Honda out of Flagstaff, Arizona. This is number 55X of Steve Hatch. Oh, nothing like stalling your bike on the starting line. So Hatch is going off here in 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and we're going green. And our final rider here in the Pro Moto Unlimited division, riding that Yamaha 450. He's out of Ensenada, Baja California. Cardenas Vasquez.
Go ahead and roll
Now we're going to move into our Pro 40 division. Last year's overall champion in Pro 40, riding that KTM. He's out of Lima, Peru. Let's hear it for number 400X, Hano Montoya. Hano has been on fire the last couple of years. winning championships down here. And going for another one here, 2018, and he's going green. Our next rider up in the Pro Moto 40 division, riding that Honda. He's out of Gardenville, Nevada. Number 405X of Jack McCormick. That's for our last rider in that Pro Moto 40 division, riding that KTM out of Chula Vista, California, number 427X, Salvador Sainz. He gave me a little fist bump. You could hear he's ready to go. 319 of the most brutal off-road miles on the planet. And Salvador is on course. Now we're going to move into our Class Pro Moto 30 division. Our first rider to the line, riding that KTM 450. He's out of Carson City, Nevada, number 301X, Chris Cassidy. Our next rider up riding that Honda 450. This is 303X out of Albigen, Sonora, Luis M. Gomez. So our next bike to the line, out of Mexico City, he's got another bike lineup. This is his third bike in the lineup, number 360X. This bike is Santiago Krill. And Santiago's third bike is on course. Our next rider up, out of Beaumont, Texas, riding that Honda, number 365 of Nick Lanning.
Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Hey, how you doing? Morning, good.
Our next rider to the line, number 333. Riding that KTM, he's got a little overheating going on. We see this a lot here, 15 seconds. This is 333X of Chad Thornton. Smell a little bit of that radiator fluid. All right, so our next rider up, number 304X out of Encinitas, California, riding the Honda, sponsored by Nixon. That's Chris Racken. All right, now we're up to last year's Class 30 champion, number 300X out of Reedley, California. This is Ryan Liebelt. They got a two-bike team this year, that factory-backed Yamahas, Simi Valley Cycles, Golden Tire, BajaBound.com. Yamaha is on point. They're stoked. Liebelt is on the bike, and we're ready to go green in 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to move into that Pro Moto 50 division. The first rider on the line, riding for Honda Racing of Mexico. He's out of Monterrey, Mexico, number 537X, Gustavo Levy. Our second rider up, riding that Yamaha, number 510 out of El Cajon, California, Giovanni Spinelli. And that is Gio on the bike starting here, sponsored by the Bike Bandit. Got that Yamaha ride this year. Yamaha really has stepped up. Giovanni going for another championship. Fast House backed rider. Spinelli is going green. Our next rider up, this is the Pro Moto Limited Division. Last year's overall champion. This is the fourth bike he's got signed up. Another one of those KTMs, number 100X out of Mexico City, taking last year's championship. Santiago Krill. That monkey business team is on the gas. And our next rider up, another one of those KTM riders out of San Diego, California. Number 151X, Juan Lopez Marquez. And our next rider up, number 114X, out of Tijuana, Baja California, Rodolfo Patron. And we have our first smoker, and when I say smoker, I'm talking two strokes. You don't see a lot of them out here, and this is a great class for it. He's got that Yamaha YZ250 hooked up. This is number 125X out of Ensenada, Baja, Fernando Beltran. This is Churro that's taken off, though. Churro. And our first female competitor in the motor division here in the Pro Moto Limited. She's out of Mexicali, Baja California, riding that KTM Precision Concepts machine. Let's hear it for number 121, Ana Rivas. Oh, she's got some fans out here. They're coming unglued. It's always awesome to see women step up into the moto classes, and Anna is off. Now we're going to move into the Pro Ironman division. Our first rider on the gate, riding that good-looking Honda. This is another young lady out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, Elizabeth Liz Kantz. And Karks is on course. And our next rider up, out of Ojai, California, riding that KTM, sponsored by the Racer's Edge. This is number 725, Kenny Wilson. And now, out of Rosarito, Baja California, last year's Pro Ironman champion, sponsored by Suzuki of Baja, Fast House 711. Once again, last year's champion, this is Jose Carrasco. He's got lots of fans here too. He's still running that lucky 721. And Jose is on course. Our next rider up, out of Los Angeles, California, riding that Honda 450, sponsored by Pena Racing, Knight Rider. This is number 731, Franklin Padilla. And our next Iron Man to the line. He's another rider out of Los Angeles, California, riding that Yamaha 450. This is number 760, Edwin Pena. The next bike to the line is out of Middlebury, Connecticut. Ryan, that Janeski Racing, Chris Haynes backed Honda. This is number 714, Lawrence Janeski. Our next rider to the starting line here is out of Squamish, BC, Canada. Made the trip over riding that KTM. Sponsored by No Limit Motorsports, Maxxis Tires. This is number 739X, Aaron Richardson. On that Honda fixed hardware back machine. Our next rider up, he's out of Bishop, California, number 706X. This is Kevin Daniels. Riding for Fast Valley on that Honda out of Puerto, California. This is number 752X, Hector Gutierrez. After taking a year off, previous champion in the Ironman division, he's out of Santa Cruz, California. He's got that new Honda this year, sponsored by Santa Cruz Speed and Machine. Let's hear it for the Ironman number 702X, Tony Guerra. Tony's been riding a two-stroke in previous years at 500. He's on the Honda 450, and he is on the gas and off into the desert. Lots of Ironmen here at the round number one, the San Felipe 250. Stoked to see it. This next rider, he is out of Ensenada, Baja California, riding that 730 back garage. Number 730, Francisco Septian. And our last Ironman to the line, riding that Husqvarna, sponsored by Vang, out of Guadalajara, number 741X, Carlos Gracida. Carlos is on course, and that's our final Ironman. Now we're going to move into this Pro Moto 60 Plus division. These riders are all over 60 years of age. Our first rider out of Vancouver, Canada, riding that Honda Moto Geezers Spons machine, number 649X of Guy Laycraft. Our next rider in that Pro Moto 60 Plus, out of Tijuana, Baja California, riding that KTM. This is number 602X, Oscar Ochoa. And he's off. Now we're going to move into our Pro Quad division. our first rider up. He is the only driver rider to win all 4 World Desert Championship races last year. Number 1A out of Tijuana, Baja California on that Honda 450, Syed Sanchez. Syed's right down there. They're going to do a rider change. This is the other rider. Suerte, Syed. And our next pro quad rider to the line, out of Mexicali, Baja California, Enriquez Racing back, Honda 450. This is number 5A, Jose Enriquez. Our final rider up to the line here in the Pro Quad division, riding that Honda 450 out of Chula Vista, California. This is number 15A, Juan Sanchez. Now we're going to work our way into the Sportsman Quad division. Our first rider of the line with that Honda 450 Duncan Racing Elka suspension back machine. He is out of Acton, California. 110A, Danny Magdaleno. Danny's got some fans. The girls are coming unglued in the back. And our first Sportsman Quad is on course. Our next rider up, back in black. He is out of Mexicali, riding that Honda. Number 118A, Juan Pablo Flores. Salvador. Our next rider up, Mexicali's trying to take over the Sportsman Quad division. He's out of Mexicali as well, riding that Honda 450. This is number 132A, Jorge Ramirez. This whole Mexicali team has been just ready to rock and roll. We were talking to them. Another one of the Gutierrez Racing team. Another rider out of Mexicali. This is number 122A, Sergio Gutierrez. Our next rider up out of Tecate, Baja California. Another one of those Honda riders. Number 104A, Jose Contreras. On that Nicho Racing Honda, sponsored by Elka Shocks, E-Fast, Hinson Clutches, and Duncan Racing. This is number 131 out of Jacumba, California, Gilberto Perez. And our final rider up to the starting line in our Sportsman Quad division. He's sponsored by Precision Racing. Elka, Baja ATV. This is number 129A out of Tijuana, Israel Jimenez. Now we're going to work our way into our Sportsman Moto division. This first rider's riding a Yamaha. He's at a Green Cove. Number 278X, Aki Polikoski. Our second sportsman moto on the line, riding that CRF Honda Racing backed 450. He's out of Alamo, Nevada. Number 213X. This is Bradley Loveday. Our next rider up out of Victor, Idaho. These next two riders came all the way from Idaho. This is number 256X, Derek Miller. Our next rider up, he's riding a Yamaha. Metler Racing at Acuna, Idaho, just up the street from my dad's house. Another one of the Yamaha riders. This is number 223X of Mike Metler. Our next rider up on that K&F Lucas Oil Honda 450, number 212X. Out of Mexicali, this is Carlos Silva. Our next rider up brought this Renthal back KTM all the way from Kula, Hawaii. Let's hear it for number 261X, Mark Minnie. Our next rider up, Team Tranquilon, riding that Honda 450, number 293X, out of Tijuana, Baja California, Gabriel Barrios. Our next rider to the gate, riding a KTM, sponsored by Schmidt Construction. He's out of Santa Rosa, California, number 206X, Craig Orr. And Orr is on course. Our next rider up, Team Sammy's JM Express. He's out of Tijuana, Miguel Sammy Pena, last year's champion 200X. Going for another championship here in the Sportman division. I don't know if you could win 2 championships. If he wins again this year, he's going to move on up with the big boys. And Sammy is on course. Our next rider up out of Steamboat Springs, Colorado, the Cactus Warriors, number 201X, Hank Saylor. Our next rider up, riding a Honda Sponsored by Pro Taper, JMR Off-Road, Pro Circuit, and Shift. This is number 205X out of El Cajon, California, Nick Jimenez. Our next rider up is riding for factory backing. Looks like he's got Renthal, DID Chains, and Hinson helping him out as well. This is number 204 out of San Diego, California, Daniel Rami. This next rider up on that two-stroke KTM, he's out of Tijuana, Baja California. This is number 215X, Miguel Rodriguez. Our next rider up, Cabrera Trucking. Jimbo did the graphics on this, Ashir. This is number 238 out of Ramona, California, Rolando Cabrera. This next rider up, sponsored by Somerton Airport, SA Power Sports, Alpine Stars. This is number 275X out of Somerton, Arizona, Eric Salzer. On the Velarde Racing Honda 450. He's out of National City, California, number 287X, Alexis Velarde. Velarde Whipperman, he's pumped. He's got those good-looking bright yellow leopard skin Troy Lee designs, and he is on course. Our next rider up, another rider out of Steamboat Springs, Colorado, riding a Kawasaki, sponsored by Steamboat Power Sports. This is number 216X, Luke Burlett. This next rider up, another rider out of Tecate, Mexico. He's riding that good-looking Kawasaki 450. Keep it hard racing. This is number 255, Alvaro Bello. Our next rider up on that good-looking Shrono back KTM out of Discovery Bay, California, number 284X, Shane Shomo. Shorno. And Shorno is on course. Our last rider up, and what a lineup of Sportsman Moto riders we have. He's riding a KTM. He's out of Sandpoint, Idaho, number 247X, Michael Boge. And our final rider is on course. Donovan, we sent all the bikes up. we're going to wait till 10 o'clock, and we're going to kick it off with our four-wheel vehicles and our trophy trucks.
Yeah, most definitely. So we should see these guys coming back around about. I think we should start seeing these coming back through about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I just hope that all of them have a safe ride. I had an opportunity to talk to them all, and that's one of the favorite parts of mine is being able to talk to the competitors before they go and give them that little bump and tell them to be safe and smart, and they're all excited and they're off on their way, and I think we're going to have a really good San Felipe 250 with Score International this running.
Absolutely, round number 1. It's already going big. It's bigger and badder than ever. Score just stepped up huge here in the Malecon, as well as the city of San Felipe. We want to thank everybody here, the mayor, everybody that lets us come and hang out and bring all these crazy racers down to their beautiful fishing village here. But we talk about talking to these riders. You talk to the riders in the morning, and everybody's so pumped. It's a little bit different story from this morning till when we see these riders a little later this evening.
Oh, most definitely. You'll see them come back with a different type of a grin. This one will have a little bit of dirt, maybe some rocks and weeds in their teeth, but they're going to be super happy, super pumped. And, like we were talking earlier, check it out on the live show, thescoreinternational.com. Let your friends know. Send a message, send a text, call them, send an email, whatever you got to do, and let's get everybody on board. And let's enjoy this Score International San Felipe 250, this 32nd running of the San Felipe 250.
They call this one the baby of the 4. We got the 50th anniversary of the Score International Baja 500. That's going to be big this year, coming off our 50th anniversary of the Baja 1000 back in November. So it just seems like it just keeps ramping up. This baby's getting big, I'll tell you that. We're definitely into teenage years here, moving into our 32nd year here in San Felipe.
Oh, most definitely. And this year at the San Felipe 250, it's actually 319 miles, so it's increased a little bit. The course is super rough. They added like a totally different 100 miles in there. So there's some new terrain for some of these competitors to go over and see. And then we all know about the famous San Felipe whoops that everybody talks to. I don't care who you are, what you're doing, everybody talks about those San Felipe whoops, and they're growing. They're getting bigger and bigger.
And let's talk about the qualifying for a minute. The last few years we've been able to actually do qualifying down here. But this year we just did for the San Felipe 250 was the start draw where you draw your position. And then is what we're going to do. We're going to take not your points, but your overall finish here at the San Felipe 250, and that's going to be your starting position for the 50th anniversary of the Baja 500 coming up in June.
Yeah, most definitely. So we got a lot of racing ahead of us. We got the trucks coming out, then the trophy truck spec, the legend, then on from there.
That's right, all the way down Class 11s and the UTV class. Let's talk about that for a minute. It's just been growing, getting so bigger that Score actually added 2 more classes. Is what we had in our sportsman division, which is really cool to get people in. Is what we had last year. Is we have, just like we do in the pros, we have an open class, and then we'll have a naturally aspirated and a turbo class. So we had 3 classes for them, and last year we just had pretty much the open sportsman class, but we've added 2 more, the turbo as well as the naturally aspirated non-turbo machines into the sportsman divisions as well. So that's huge, getting people down here in racing down here in Baja.
Oh, most definitely. That's what I love about the UTV classes. It's super affordable. Once you get your machine and you get set up, your maintenance and your overall shop time and work time is dropped down dramatically. So you get to go out and race, and don't be worried about those. Those guys are getting up in the 90s, high 90s, almost 100 miles an hour. And in that machine, you're moving at that speed. So it's a definite fun class, and it's definitely not something to shake a stick at. Those guys are tough competitors, and those machines are moving. They're going fast. I mean, they're running with some 3.0 King shocks on those things. I mean, that's insanity.
I know, it's cool. You can't even see those BF Goodrich tires, and they're running like, I forget how big they are. They're big tires, like 32s, 33s. So is what we're doing. We got a little footage going right here. It looks like we're going to our first drone footage right there. One of our bikes coming through that wash. Pretty tough to get a number, but some great footage there. Shout out to our drone teams for spending the night out in the desert. Although they might not have had so many mariachis outside of their window, but you know what? I wouldn't change this feel, this vibe down here. We're loving it in San Felipe, and great shot of the wash. This is just coming outside of town there. So if you guys are just joining us, we just sent all of our motorcycles and quads off the line. We're going to give a 3-hour layover, and we're going to jump right into our four-wheel vehicles, the trophy trucks, then trophy truck specs all the way down to Class 11. So stick around for all that action because we're going to bring you live all day.
Most definitely.
That's race mile 25 right there. See if we can get a rider a little bit closer. It's pretty tough sometimes if it's these bikes are going fast. Those drones don't really go 100 miles an hour, so we'll see if we can catch up with one of the bikes there. But look at that sun coming up. Beautiful San Felipe here. There's a bike wide open coming out there. That's around race mile 25. It's hard to see a number. Is that? He is hooked up. I mean, he's probably doing 60 through there. That's some rough stuff right there if you've been out there. Look how deep those lines are and the whoops.
As you can see him going through that little wash area there, it's kind of, you can see him swapping a little bit. I mean, he's hanging on. It's definitely sandy through there, and it's hard to hang on. That's one of those areas where you got to kind of stay on the gas and stand on the pegs and get your rear end over the back of that seat and keep that front tire up just a little bit to get through there, to navigate through there. Because if you slow down and touch your brakes, you're going to get that real bad head shake and end up going down through there. So some of those sections you kind of have to be on the gas a little bit to be able to get through there.
pursuit of Jesse Jones and his son in truck 76, just seconds ahead of them.
Stay straight, Dan. Yep, got it. Careful. Get him, Denny. Coming up.
That was McMillan. He just came roaring through here faster than any of the other trucks I've seen so far. Just amazing. And there was barely enough time for people to get out of the way.
Rob McCachran is still in the lead of the trophy trucks, but a comfortable lead quickly turns into trouble as the gauges on Rob's truck signal a problem.
Get your stuff ready. Get unbelted. Get your stuff done. I'm unbelted.
The team is going to have to pull over and assess the mechanical issue, putting their lead at risk.
Stand down.
Cameron Steele is coming up fast behind him, and Abdali Lopez in the third position is ready to make his move.
You ready?
Right, ready, yep.
Back copy. Keep the radio clear, please. Any idea what my back door is? 18 seconds behind you, Rob.
The team has lost the lead to Cameron, but they still need to make sure the truck can continue, even if it means losing more critical seconds and positions. Rob is
Going back to some more live footage there, race mile marker 25. It looks like we already got a battle on our hands. That looked like that might have been Ray DeSalio on that 4X bike by those bright white leathers. We'll see. Kind of hard to call who it is out there. Bear with us. And as what you'll notice, we'll be running, these are some of our El Rey network coverage. This is some of the races from last year throughout the day and between. But you'll notice if we get some great live coverage, we're just going to go ahead and switch right over to live. So just stick around and we'll keep bringing you more action as it comes. Once again, if you are joining us watching from home, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We're going to kick off our four-wheel vehicles, starting with the trophy trucks here at about 10 o'clock. So stick around. So 9:30, we're going to send off our four-wheel vehicles. It's usually around 10 when we do some of the other races. So we're bringing to, we have a record number of trophy trucks this time. 43 trophy trucks in the field. That is huge. 49? I think a few of them did drop out, so I think we're down to 39. I just got word from Juan Tintos over here. But still a record. I mean, that's about as good as it gets down here in San Felipe. And we talk about the qualifying for the Baja 500, the 50th anniversary coming up. This is where you get your qualifying position. So it brought out a lot more of the A-game drivers, which normally they might skip this race. This might be the one throwaway race that they choose for the year. But there'll be lots of them out here. We have right around 150 overall competitors, riders, and drivers. So that's also not a record, but right where it hasn't been since, over 10 years. So it's great to see the influx, more riders and racers out here. Going to go back to some live coverage from race mile marker 25 here. There's another great shot of one of those bikes going through there. It's hard to gauge how fast they're going, but these guys are hooked up. They're fresh. They just left the starting line, so we'll see who that is right there. That might. It looks like the bike of Mark Samuels, I believe. No, he would have to be further than that. Yeah, you're right. This is somebody back. It's hard to tell, but he's looking dialed in and got a pretty good shot there going through that wash. Shout out to our drone pilots and teams that are out there, been out there all night. And when it comes down to this, it was all worth it.
Bigger in the freestyle. Yeah. And they've been around for a little bit, and I think that might have been where those guys came from. Yeah, the freestyle guys. Yeah. 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 So we can't offend anybody, and we can help Mark out. You got to pop those little ones like so whatever. Somebody working at Fast House kid. Yeah. Yeah, it's more important. My mind, it's more important to just give Mark. He's got new sponsors. Oh, exactly. Because we're going to do that with him on the Sport Journal. Just oh, that's nice. He had to reinvent himself after the Hawks thing.
Whatever we have to do immediately.
An ambulance to meet him at the Baja Medical Center.
Yes, you're in this. People are safe as they can be, and if something does happen, they can get the medical care they need as soon as possible.
Dude, I just fucked crap.
Really?
Yeah.
Into what?
Industry.
How far were you?
I don't know, where's the,
How many meters out are you? Hold on, dude. You're gonna at least. Motherfucker.
San Felipe 250 and the first of our 4 races in the Baja Desert Championship Series. This begins the year-long journey to the Baja 1000 and the fight for the chance of becoming immortal as a Baja champion. Racers from all over the world have gathered in this quiet coastal town, abandoning their daily lives to risk everything for a chance at off-road greatness. This is the harshest and most demanding race series in the world. The course is treacherous, the opposition is brutal, and the carnage begins now.
Welcome everybody to the
Welcome to the 31st Annual SCORE San Felipe 250 and the first of our 4 races in the Baja Desert Championship Series. This begins the year-long journey to the Baja 1000 and the fight for the chance of becoming immortal as a Baja champion. Racers from all over the world have gathered in this quiet coastal town, abandoning their daily lives to risk everything for a chance at off-road greatness. This is the harshest and most demanding race series in the world. The course is treacherous, the opposition is brutal, and the carnage begins now.
Welcome everybody to the El Rey Network's presentation of 31st Annual San Felipe 250. I'm Mike Escamilla. I'm here with legendary desert racer Tava Vildosula. So you've won this race 3 times in a row, is that right?
Correct.
Looking for a 4th. Anything different now, coming from a winner's point of view?
This race is extremely difficult. It's tough, it's nasty, and it is the toughest, roughest race that we do in the 2017 series. Rob McCackron's actually won this race 4 times overall. We won it 3 times overall, and we're looking to match his record of 4, but, he's here. He qualified first yesterday.
Now, besides Rob, is there anything else to really be worried about? I heard that the locals sometimes will give alternative obstacles that they've decided to place on their own. What is that? Does that affect you? Does it affect the other racers?
You have booby traps. The locals like to see jumps, and they like to see holes, and it makes it a little bit more difficult, but we've been pushing extremely hard over the last couple of years about making the fan a little bit more conscious about we're all here to have fun, and they're here to have fun, we're here to have fun. Obviously, we're very competitive and we want to win, but, we don't need any of that, and it's really gotten a lot better.
How much does that affect the course? Do they help you out a little bit with those booby traps?
I wish they did.
Big sign?
I wish Tavo, slow down, No, they don't. Unfortunately, they don't, but that's what Baja is. You're dealing with elements that change mile to mile.
Like Tava said, this is one of the most treacherous courses in the series. Why don't you give us a course preview?
Absolutely, Mike. We start here at the Malecon in downtown San Felipe. We make our way up the dunes for the first time in the 31-year history of the San Felipe 250. And then start heading up a little bit west of Zoo Road, very famous piece of land here in San Felipe. And then start heading north, the 3 poles, hit up another wash, up to Saldaña, dry lake bed, hit Saldaña, probably 145 miles an hour through Saldaña. Come back across down, hit some silt beds, pretty nasty silt beds coming back south. That brings us down into the world famous Borrego jump. Come down through Diablo dry lake bed, 140, 142 miles an hour through the dry lake bed. into Morelia Junction. Then after Morelia, start heading south again. Then we turn towards the east, start heading into Chanate Wash, really tight sections. We're rock crawling, going 5 miles an hour through just really nasty sections. Then we go into Guatamote Wash, start heading west again, come back across into San Felipe, come back down the dunes, and into the Malecon here in downtown San Felipe.
It sounds like an action movie coming to life.
It absolutely is.
Well, before the green flag drops yesterday, Cherry was in the heart of contingency, checking out what this event is all about.
San Felipe 250 is more than just a desert race. It's a festival filled with families, fun, food, and tons of fans.
Contingency is a madhouse. If you come here with no friends, you're gonna make friends.
I feel like I've made friends today.
Yeah, we're friends.
We're friends.
Group hug.
One thing I love when I'm in Mexico is the food. Roger, can you tell me a little about Contingency Day and what this is all about?
Contingency is just a big party. Everybody gets together. It's also the battle of the bands.
I can tell. It's noisy all day.
The fans, they're waiting for these races, you know, for months and sometimes all year long. They're waiting for this event to come to town. And then it's just one big party.
You give me the great honor of being your passenger right now. Thank you so much. They give you a map of the race beforehand. You load it in here, and what am I doing?
You're gonna follow the course. I'll turn it on just so you can see it. We'll bring it out so that it just shows a smaller portion of the course, and then it shows you exactly where you're at.
This is a crazy harness. Once you're strapped in the entire time. Okay, I have to ask.
They have catheters.
Wow.
Hose out the bottom.
So when I'm screaming along and I'm like, I can't hold it anymore, I don't even have to. And of course, the main event is the big race, and everyone's waiting for the green flag to drop, including me.
Last year's race season was a brutal one, and the 2016 San Felipe 250 set a very foreboding tone for the remainder of the season. The year started out with trophy truck champion Tavo Vildosola returning to San Felipe, hoping to make history and take his 4th win in a row. All eyes were on this race legend, but Baja had other plans, and Tavo was unfortunately left in the dust. The Baja 500 was the next big hurdle for the racers, and the carnage continued, leading to almost half the racers packing it in and going home before crossing the finish line. But it meant redemption for Tavo, as he took home his first big win at the Baja 500. The Rosarita Beach Desert Challenge had racers breaking ground on new territory. Mexican local ELIAS HANNA took home the trophy truck spec win, putting him just 7 points behind the current points leader, rookie Chad Brumman. Finally, the pinnacle of the race, the Baja 1000. The king of Baja, Rob Mack, returned to solidify an unprecedented three-peat he'd been working toward all year. And as the sun came up over the finish line, Ronnie Wilson and team finally managed to take the win in Class 1. And although Chad Braun finished 3rd, that was enough points to secure the points championship and the distinguished honor of being voted Rookie of the Year.
Time to take off, get ready for the desert, but I'm here at the start, in the thick of it, waiting for that green flag to drop.
Leading the trophy trucks off the line is the veteran Rob McCachran. He'll be fighting to maintain his lead in this San Felipe 250 and start the season off strong.
3, 2, 1, and here we go! Woo!
It's important to get off to a great start. Beginning of the year, if you're going for that points championship, you need to have a good finish here. We feel good about our effort, and I think, you know, the person that's going to be the most reliable and probably have no flat tires can come home the winner today.
Starting off in 2nd is Cameron Steele in Truck 16, determined to make an impact this year in the trophy truck class.
All right, light it up.
And here we go! Cameron Steele off the line!
Score points champion, Abdali Lopez, starts in the 3rd position, poised to defend his title for the 3rd year in a row. Starting in 4th is Ballistic BJ Baldwin in truck 97. He's ready to pass the competition early and claim the lead.
He's a 2-time Baja 1000 winner, looking to put a 250 under his belt.
So rough. It's the roughest race course, continuously rough race course that there is in the series. As soon as I dip into the bumps in about 5 minutes, I'm going to be in the roughest terrain imaginable for the next hour and 15 minutes.
Rounding up the top 5 is Luke McMillan in truck 83, starting just 3 positions ahead of his brother, Dan McMillan, in truck 23.